I had a situation that came up this week.
Me too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll
You
let
want
you
to
go
go first?
first.
You let me
Yeah.
go for. You'll allow me
Yes,
to
I
go
will
first.
let you go
I
first.
really
Yours is
appreciate
probably
that.
far more interesting.
So I had this guy. This guy's a kid. He's like early 20s, and he came up with I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he came up with a really cool software program.
Okay.
And a company wants to buy it from him, and they want to use it. It's like he put a lot of time and effort into this thing, and they're offering him like pennies on the dollar for this thing.
Yeah.
But they're offering him, it's still a lot of money, but realistically it's pennies on the dollar. But he's so excited. He's a young guy. And I just feel I had a talk with him about it. And I was like, look, there's things you got to consider. You got to consider the money, the amount of time and effort you put into it, money you put into it, etc.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's he doesn't want to do it anymore. He wants to move on to something else, and he just wants to be done with it. If he can get this money and it helps him do something else, sure, why not? So it got me thinking that when I deal with a lot of mergers and acquisitions with people buying and selling businesses, there's more to it than just what's the business worth. Right. There's what do you want out of it? Right. Oh, I want out. I want either retire or I want to move on to something else, or I just don't want to do this. Right. Or there's I purposely built it to sell it, so I want to get the absolute as many dollars out of this as I possibly can. And there's 1,000 other ways to think to look at it as well. So when people are looking to buy or sell a business, it just got me thinking. There's so much more to it than just the price tag.
Yep.
Especially when you're the seller. Some people just they're just tired.
Oh yeah.
They're and that has a huge impact on the price that they're willing to accept.
Same thing if someone is looking to retire. Like, I think it's only like 20% of small businesses actually end up being sold. The other 80% just close down when they're done.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and that can be retirement. That can be they no longer want to do it.
Yep.
And if you're looking to buy a business, those are the businesses to buy where the owner hadn't really contemplated selling. Right. Because now they're getting something when they were expecting to get nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a win-win. You get it for pennies on the dollar. You are essentially often just buying like a client list.
Right? A lot of times. Yeah.
So for example, the bookkeeping business that we own, that was one of the things we looked at is, can we go and find bookkeepers that are retiring and just buy their customer lists? It was a very easy way to get to market.
Yeah.
So we started looking at it, and there's a lot of like CPA firms that also do bookkeeping. So we started looking at, could we buy out these CPAs as well? Because we have the ability, we have CPAs that work with us.
Sure.
So we could do the tax returns and all this stuff. But yeah, we were surprised to find out how many businesses just email their clients and go, hey, this is the last season I'll be doing books for you.
It's funny how many clients come to me. Find them. It's funny how many clients come to me and say, yeah, I as an attorney, I used to work with this attorney. He was great, but he retired. Okay, so what did he do with his client list? Right, I'm thinking to myself, and you know what? You're absolutely right. At least 80% of the time, they don't do anything with it.
Nope.
They just let their clients know they're no longer in business. Do you know what the kind of value that has?
Right, like
that is such you get so much money out of that. Even if it's not millions of dollars.
Yeah.
What if it's 10,000? That's 10,000 more than you had.
Correct.
Right? So what, you're going to build the business over 20 years and just shut the doors and not try to get anything out of it?
So we were willing to make offers of up to 6 times monthly revenue just for the client list. Right? So whatever their average was for a month, we'd pay them 6 times that. And that's what we were willing to pay them for just the client list. But we would also get their phone number, their domain, social media. Basically, we would...
You get their IP, right?
Correct, right? And it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Like, for us, we make the money back in 6 to 8 months, most of the time, because very few clients actually leave.
Where are they going to go?
Correct, right? Like, they don't want to go through the hassle of finding someone, so they're like, oh, okay, we'll just go with your guy, right?
And the sale of that list to you from the client or the customer's perspective comes with the implication that the old owner is saying, this is the guy you want to work with.
Yes.
It really does come
It,
with that implication.
that's what it does, right? Which is why they're always worth something.
Right.
And I remember I was talking to a guy that owned a moving company, and he just had enough. So he had taken a job down in Texas. I think it was Texas, and he was going to move down to Texas and just get out of the moving business.
Yep.
And his family was going to buy the moving business, right? So he goes, yeah, he's like, we just put some value on the trucks and stuff. So I ran some SEO reports on his website and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And I'm like, you realize that your website traffic is worth like $4,000 a month. He goes, what? And I'm like, if this was paid traffic, it
Yeah.
would be about $4,000 a month worth of traffic that your
Right.
website is getting. And he's like, well, we've always been busy. He's like, I had a hard time finding people to work. And he's like, I'm just tired of it, right? Like, he's like, I made my money. I just want
Yeah.
to get out and go work for someone else. But they ended up actually paying him another, I think it was like 200,000
Yeah. See?
for the domain, phone
Phone
number,
number. Yep. Email
all of that.
addresses. Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Right. So there's value in all of that stuff. Like, there's businesses out there. I remember talking to a guy that was in my industry, but he had a very unique business model, right? He would set up Joe's Landscaping, for example, and all he did was harvest the leads,
Hmm.
talk to the customers, and then funnel them off to someone else,
Oh, yeah.
right? So he basically would just
He's a
build
lead
website,
generator.
optimize them.
He's a lead generator.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
No?
Once he got them to a certain point, he would call the client and go, hey, do you want to rent this website fully optimized?
Oh.
So instead of just paying for the lead,
Right.
you know, Don's Landscaping would rent Joe's Landscaping website
To get
for the
yeah.
lead gen.
Yeah.
It was kind of a unique business, but like he was making decent
You
money
know how to
doing
do
that.
it.
Yeah,
Why not? Right.
yeah.
So yeah, so it just got me thinking about the mergers and acquisitions
Mhm.
on how does someone so for those of you who don't know, we go on Reddit a lot of times while we're waiting for questions, we'll go on Reddit and we'll see what questions people have about starting and running a business, right? And it got me thinking what these people that are trying to start up a business from scratch,
Mhm.
how hard would it be to go out? I mean, I'm sure it's hard to identify, but how hard could it really be to go out and try to find someone who's retiring soon in an industry you're looking to get into?
Mhm.
I mean, I can, for professionals like CPAs, attorneys, doctors, it's got to be pretty easy because you should be, if you find a doctor's office where it's a one person doctor and the guy is 75, he's probably retiring soon, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's probably pretty easy to identify certain
Correct.
people.
I mean, it takes time and effort
Right.
because, like, you may not know how old someone is until you actually go visit it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like,
But this goes back to the thing you and I always talk about. Just have conversations with people.
oh yeah.
You never know. Someone might be 45 years old. They have a decent sized business and they're just done, but they haven't told anybody that.
Yep.
So when you walk in and say, "Hey, look, I'm interested in getting into this business. Can you tell me all about it?" You might find out that they're like, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Why don't we work a deal?"
Yeah. And it could be worth every penny for both of you.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess the point is that while it's always a good idea to think about starting your own business and running a business, sometimes it's better to try to take on something that already exists.
Right. If you get, let's say you're an attorney, right, and you want to start your own practice.
Yep.
If you can find someone that's retiring, even if only 50% of those clients stay with you,
Yeah.
you're going to be way ahead of the game.
Oh yeah.
Right. And you can then slowly rebrand it because the customers, once they get to know you, right, it's that transition period that's key.
Right.
Having the old owner introduce you to like the top value clients and all that stuff, and then it's on you to keep those relationships. But yeah, absolutely, it could be worth buying someone out.
Yeah.
And there are so many ways to work this, right? Like you could say, hey, I'll do a revenue share with you for the next 12 months,
Right.
right? Like no money out of your pocket. Whatever of your clients I keep, I'm going to float you 10 or 20% of all the work I get from them for the next year. And that's going to be your payment.
Right.
Once again, for the person selling, that is far more, worth far more on, than nothing, right? Than
Yeah.
just
No,
Read
I
it.
know exactly what you're saying, but and then look at it from the other side as well. If you're the seller, right?
Oh, someone say they can't hear anything. Um,
Technical issues.
so,
Point is that sometimes you look at it from the other side as well. If
yep,
you're the seller or the owner of a business and you want to sell it, don't cut yourself short. Don't shortchange yourself, I should
correct.
say, right? There is a lot of value to a lot of things that you've done. So people just look at the product, but sometimes, the product's just one piece of it.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of IP there. There's client lists. There's
Yep.
all kinds of things that have value.
Oh, yeah. Just a phone number alone
Right.
can be worth a ton,
Yeah.
right? Like I have a phone number from an old print shop
Yep.
that stopped operations, and I
Yeah.
happened to see the phone number, so I bought
You
it
bought it. Yeah.
for like $8, right? We still get phone calls to that number
Yeah.
occasionally. Like that number has paid for itself.
I'm sure it has.
But anyway, so I'll give you another one that I had
Yeah.
this week, which is fascinating. So I get a phone call from a company that has had the same location and been in business on a high traffic street for
Yep.
70 years.
Okay.
And he's like, not enough people know about us. And I'm like, well, I knew who you were. He's like, have you ever stopped in? And I'm like, well, no, like you don't really do something that I'm interested in. So I've never even thought about it. And he's like, every week someone comes in and says, hey, I've never noticed you guys. Have you been here long?
Mm.
Right. And they've been in the same location
For
70
that long.
years. And it was such a good reminder for him. And he's like, I get reminded every week that there's a ton of people. We just assume everybody know we're here.
Yeah.
But there's people that have lived in the area, driven by us 3 times a week and still haven't noticed us, right? So the reason he called me was he was sitting down and Googling what they do around where he is. And he's like, how are these guys that are like, a guy with a truck and 2 lawnmowers on the back outranking us as a 70-year-old business?
Right.
And I'm like, because they're doing the SEO work.
You're doing the right thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you could be bigger, you could have been around longer, but if you aren't taking care of that,
If people don't know who you are, it doesn't matter.
no, then the guy with the
Yeah.
2 lawnmowers,
Yeah.
and a truck is going to outrank you and get that business. And he's like, well, how do we get it? And I'm like, you have to stop approaching your website like you are a Walmart or a products-based business, and you have to start approaching it as if you're a local service business.
Yeah.
So you have to optimize for local, not optimize in general.
Right.
Right. And this is where the type of SEO is so important, because they had hired a company to do SEO and they were doing broad keyword SEO.
Yep.
Which wasn't really benefiting them. They should have been doing local SEO instead of broad keyword. So it was just interesting. But the thing for me that was that, been around for 70 years, we still have people that have lived in the area for 20 years that are like, hey, how long have you guys been here?
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
it just shows that it actually shows the power of honestly, of people, what people search for these days on the internet.
Well,
and you're right. It is localized search. I'm not searching for a landscaper. I'm not searching for a plumber. I'm searching for a plumber in my area.
correct.
Who's available and is going to call me back now.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, just because you've been around for a while, don't assume that people ever see your sign.
Yeah.
Right? Because most people drive in a trance.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not paying attention to what's around you. Like you're in that almost like hypnotic mode.
Yep.
Right? So like we were on a high traffic street, 309, right? 48,000 cars a day, I think, went by. And people didn't notice us until I parked my Jaguar out in front of the building, close to the street. It was the first time we started getting walk-in traffic. We've been there for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was still having people that I knew drove by there every day ask me, well, where are you guys? And I'm like, have you never seen our gigantic signs? And the moment I told them where we were, they would be like, oh, that's where you are? Like, I've never noticed you.
That's funny.
Like, what the hell?
Hey, it is what it is, man. So anyway, just for those of you who couldn't hear us earlier or just joining, we were discussing what it's like to be a buyer or a seller of your business. If you're the seller, there's a lot of things that you could consider valuable in your business, not just your product or service, but again, your intellectual property, your name, your phone number, your
Hmm.
website. All those things have value,
Hmm.
especially if you've been around for a while. And if you're a buyer, a lot of times, you don't have to spend millions of dollars on buying a business. A lot
Yeah.
of times there's people that just they're looking to get out for one reason or another.
Yep.
Again, they might just be done with the business. They might be retiring. They
Yep.
might have a life-changing event,
I
and they're just looking to get out, and you can do some type of revenue share or something like that
I
just
had
to
a
take over.
I had a guy that at 54 got diagnosed with cancer,
Yeah.
and after a year of going through treatments, could physically no longer work.
Yeah. I can see
But
that.
he had 15 years worth of client list and hundreds of repeat
Which
customers.
is worth how much money, man? It's worth
Correct.
a
So
lot.
when he talked to me, he was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting out of the business." He's like, "I'm gonna move up closer to family in Maine and stuff."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, why don't we sell your client list?" And he goes, "I can do that." I'm like, "Dude, all your stuff has some kind of value.
All of
Like,
it.
it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're gonna be. We're looking at millions." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "But having an extra 100K, would that make a difference?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "That would be huge." I think he ended up selling it to someone. He got like 75,000,
Yeah.
plus all of his equipment,
Yeah.
right? So it was a bigger deal. But just for the website, the name, the client list, all of that stuff, they paid him 75 grand.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like it's pretty good.
All right. So while we wait for some questions to come in, again, people in TikTok, people
I
that are
just
watching on TikTok,
I,
feel
it,
free to send some questions. Yeah.
there's something that
What?
I feel like that there's this thing that everybody wants to be like the next tech founder where they
Well,
no,
of
but
course they
like
do because they see
correct,
lots of
like
dollar
where they're like,
signs.
"Oh, I'm the next Sam Altman and I'll be
Mm,
making billions of dollars." And I'm like, the reality is the vast majority of businesses never get to that.
right.
Like the vast majority don't. That doesn't mean you can't have a business that makes you two, three, four, 500,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like most of us could live pretty comfortably on 500K a year, right? Like I just feel like a lot of times we need to rewind the expectations because people are so out there with what they think their business is going to be,
Yeah.
right? Like, what is it? Like 10% of businesses hit $1 million in revenue. I think it's 10%. It might even be less,
Yeah. Maybe.
right? 5% hit 10 million.
Yeah.
And then like the top 1% hit
Right.
100 million.
Right.
Like realistically, you're probably going to be in the 90%,
Yeah.
right?
And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Correct. Like it's perfectly fine. The thing is, you could also have multiple businesses. You could have two businesses that each do 800,000,
Yeah.
right? You could have a plumbing business and I don't know, a landscaping business, and each of them does 800K. Well, you're taking home pretty good money from that, right? Like this comes from me watching some TikToks and stuff, right? Where everybody's like, "Oh, I make $12,000 a month making TikToks." Okay, great. I make $12,000 a month in a business
Yeah.
and I have to be there probably less than you
Right.
have to spend on creating
Right.
TikToks, right? Like
Yeah.
the difference is you put out one bad video, right?
You're done.
You
Yeah.
could be done as
Yeah.
a creator or whatever. We put out one bad job, we're not going to be out of business. I'll make 11,000 instead of 12,000 next month.
Right.
Okay, big whoop-de-doo. I can replace that. I I don't know. I'm just
No, I get it. I know what you're
with
saying.
all these people being out there going, "Oh, like you're going to be a YouTube streamer." Bro. If you look at just the amount of TV shows that are made that never make it past the pilot or
Right.
never make it past one season,
Yeah.
right? That's the landscape you're competing in, right?
Or
Like,
or they make it 3 seasons
mhm,
and they build up a really 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 big cliffhanger and
yeah,
then leave you because they canceled the show on you,
show.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time.
Oh my
That's why
God,
I
I'm
stopped watching.
so angry.
I
I am
started.
so
I
okay.
started.
I'm sorry. I'm going off on this one. Okay, I'm so
You're going
upset.
off.
I love the books.
Okay.
I haven't read them all. There's 14 books. I think I'm through like 8 or 9 of them.
Okay.
And I've read quite a few of the books. I've read several of the books multiple times. And when I heard the series was coming out, I was like,
Hmm.
no, I'm not watching it because I don't know if they're going to continue with it. I know they're going to change storylines, and I don't care about that. I'm
Okay.
like, oh, it must be by the book. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm fine with that. And then after season 2, and they announced season 3, I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I watched the first episode and I was like, I'm not so sure. But then I got into it, and then season 3 came out. And I was like, all right, I'll watch them. And by the end of season 3, I was like, all right, this is a pretty good show. I like this a lot. And then a month later, they canceled it. I was so angry. I was so mad.
It happens. Right?
Oh, it happens a lot.
But
I wasn't Firefly mad, but I was mad.
Yeah. But what people need to realize is when you see these videos of people that go and say, hey, I'm making $8,000 a month, or $10K a month, or $15K a month, those are the videos you're being fed, right?
Right.
You're not seeing the other 35,000 creators that aren't making anything in the same topic, right?
Oh, sure.
That where their videos are getting
for everyone that's making 10 grand a month, you're right. There's probably 15, 20,000 people that are making $100.
Not even, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I just got to keep. No, the people that succeed have something, right? And they might have something you don't.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, I can't sing. I will never be a singer, right? Like,
I'm totally bringing karaoke to your house next time.
Yeah, that's fine, right? But there's other things that I can do, right? So I think a lot of times people are looking for the wrong thing. They're like, well, this person could do it, so why can't I?
Right.
Well, you don't have the marketing experience. You may not be as charming. You may not be as funny. The things you can work on is, well, your video quality isn't good enough. That you can fix, right?
Yeah.
But those other things, you would have to be able to look at these types of accounts and go, okay, what do they have in common? Like, why is this person making 12K, right? And then you go and look at their account and you're like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Like, they're cute, charming, and their kids are adorable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I would watch this stuff. And then you see the person that's trying and you're like, you can't make this style video.
You gotta remember, when it comes to video stuff, I don't think people understand. It still has to be entertaining.
Yes,
it has to be. If it's not, they're not going to watch it.
Entertaining, educational.
Even if it's educational, it still has to be entertaining.
Has to add value.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's like the guy that ended up calling me from our last life.
Right.
Right. And he goes, I got more value from. Oh, there he is. New snaps.
Is he on?
Yeah. He's like, I think I got more value from talking to you. I think I got more value from talking to you for 20 minutes than the guy I paid to talk to. Right. And I'm like, well, that's the whole point of all this stuff. Right.
That's funny.
So.
Hey, New Snaps, is that his name?
Yeah, New Snaps.
I'm glad that worked out for you, man. Seriously, it's awesome.
Yeah, and his product is phenomenal, by the way.
Gummy's the man. He will absolutely take care of you.
If you found this clip interesting, make sure to go listen to the full podcast. There's lots more content there.